Aest and interviewing freedivers.
So hello and welcome to another vlog by Kasha. If you don't know, that's my name. We are currently in the car in Bucharest. We're just driving out of the city on our way to a place called Sinaia. I'm not exactly sure how it's pronounced. I think it's in the Transylvania region. It's about 2 hours out of the city, and we're going to be among the mountains. We're going to be right next to Peleș Castle, and we're spending a long weekend there to celebrate our birthdays, as my husband and I have very close birthdays together. And we're going to be doing a very chill and snuggly weekend because at the moment we're at the end of February and we'll be in the beginning of March by the end of the weekend. And here in Romania it's actually quite cold still. It still hits the minuses at night. I think it'll be around -5 and a maximum of 5 today in Sinaia. I think it'll heat up a little bit over the weekend, but nonetheless nothing like summer, obviously. So it's going to be slowly kind of climbing towards spring weather, but definitely not yet. We were just in Basel and it was much warmer, I have to say. But yeah, so that is what we're going to be up to this weekend. We're going to be visiting the castle. We already pre-booked some tickets. There's a second castle which we'll see whether or not we'll visit. I think it's much smaller, and the main objective of the weekend is just to enjoy, relax and explore, not to go too crazy. So we've arrived at our hotel, which is very cute, and we've brought all our stuff in, but it's about it's 5 p.m. now, it's about 4:30, And Mateus is having a tea. Me, surprisingly not, but I'm going to save that for later. So now we're going to go to the city and explore a bit, and I think have an early dinner because I'm starving already. And we have a very beautiful view from our balcony, which is so lovely. And yeah, it's just very cuddly and cute here, which is exactly what we expected. And most likely we're going to eat only traditional Romanian food while we're here. Excuse my husband slurping in the background. And yeah, so it's so far a very chill start. A lot of traffic to get here, but it was fine. I think we took about 2 hours drive. And otherwise, there's some like kind of dogs. Sort of, can't like dogs which are not under owners. I don't think I can call them wild dogs, but anyway, so that's a little bit like dodgy. You have to keep an eye out on the road for them. But otherwise, yeah, just the usual Romanian traffic out here. But it was a very pretty drive. So we're back in the car now. We're going to drive into the city. There is Uber, the lady at reception says, but anyway, we didn't get a great parking spot, so we thought maybe we might get lucky, and when we come back we can get a better spot. Ooh. We are like kind of up a mountain, which is why you can see me going backwards and forwards in the car, rocking I should say. And it's very cold actually, much colder than I anticipated. I didn't even take a scarf, but hopefully it should be fine. But it is like properly cold. There's really a chill in the air here, full of snow everywhere, even though it's not currently snowing. But yeah, you can feel that you're definitely in the mountains, but it's very beautiful vibe. And the hotel is very warm, very well heated, which I can say in Romania so far we've never had problem about coldness, not like in the UK where there is always a draft, isn't there? There's always the heating is just not quite enough anyway. But yeah, so now explore a bit, an early dinner, and then I'm sure it's going to be very chilled first day in Sinaia, which I confirmed is how you pronounce it. We came to this restaurant despite the bad Google reviews, but after about 15-20 minutes of being ignored, we left and came here instead. So we're back in the hotel. We're gonna shower now and relax and actually do a little bit of planning of the year, what we're gonna do, where we're gonna go, etc. And otherwise just chill and have a lovely tea. It's about 8:15 p.m. so it's quite early. We finished dinner by 7:30, but I think we were quite hungry early on. Obviously it's quite chilly here and it's been a long day, so it's perfectly fine. And I think it's going to be just nice to chill. This was definitely just meant to be a very chilled weekend, so we're starting off very well. And then tomorrow we'll have a bit more of an adventurous day, visiting castles, probably going on a cable car. but I'll take you along for that. So hello and good morning from a treacherous walk down the road. We decided to get some exercise. And we're walking towards Peleș Castle, which is about a 20-minute walk. As you can see on this road over here, it's not really pedestrian friendly, which is a bit of a theme in Romania, I have to say. In Bucharest is also, once you're out of the old town, it's really not pedestrian friendly at all. But never mind, that's fine. You just have to be careful. So we woke up this morning to beautiful sunshine and a lovely mountain view, really special. And then we went downstairs, had a lovely breakfast, just a typical continental breakfast. And actually it's quite quiet at the hotel. I mean, I think this is a very random moment to come, so it's not like it's peak season, which is perfect. And so we had our breakfast at a very leisurely pace because we were up about 8 a.m. I actually woke up at 6:30 and I lay there for a while until I eventually fell back asleep again. And then we got ready, had a shower, and now we are off to Peleș Castle, as I said. And after that, we've been to Peleș Castle 2 years ago actually. And we couldn't get in because it was closed for the season, because we went probably like 2 weeks before what we're going to now. But we did manage to explore the outside. We also had like a lunch there. There was a cafe open, and it's very possible we'll do the same today, but this time we also get to go inside. After that, we'll probably stop by the hotel again and just freshen up, and then we're going to take a second walk to the cable car, which we're very excited for. And then most likely we shall explore a bit more the town and then see what happens, grab a dinner, and just absorb Sinaia on our last full day and first full day actually. It's like a quick little getaway, but it's really close to Bucharest, so it's great. We're thinking this must be lovely for hiking in the spring too, so I think we'll definitely be back. But anyway, now we shall continue our walk. Walking into Peleș Castle feels like stepping into another era. The castle sits here in the mountains of Sinaia, surrounded by forest, and was built as a summer residence for Romania's first king, Carol I of Romania. Construction started in 1873 and it took several decades to complete, with different additions being made until the early 1900s. What's really interesting is that the castle was never meant to be a defensive fortress like the medieval castles you might imagine. Instead, it was designed as a luxurious royal residence, a place where the royal family could escape the heat of Bucharest during the summer months and enjoy the fresh mountain air. As you walk through the rooms, you can see how incredibly detailed everything is. The castle combines several architectural styles, but it's most famous for its neo-Renaissance design, which was very popular in Europe at that time. The main architect was Wilhelm Doderer, later joined by Karol Lehmann, and they brought together craftsmen and artists from all over Europe. One of the things that immediately stands out inside the castle is the woodwork. Almost every room has these incredibly intricate carved wooden walls and ceilings, many of them made from walnut. The level of craftsmanship is amazing. You can tell that this was a project where no detail was spared. And what I love about this castle is that every room has its own personality. The royal family collected art, furniture, and decorative pieces from across the world, so each space reflects a different cultural influence. Some rooms feel very German or Austrian, others have Italian Renaissance influences, and even some incorporate Moorish design elements. For example, one of the most famous rooms in the castle is the Moorish Hall, which was inspired by the architecture from Spain and North Africa. The arches, the patterns, and the carved details are completely different from the rest of the castle, and it almost feels like you've suddenly stepped into another continent. Another fascinating part of the castle is how modern it actually was for its time. When it was built, it was considered incredibly advanced. In fact, it was one of the first castles in Europe to have electricity. The electricity was generated locally using a hydroelectric power plant built on the nearby river, which was very innovative in the late 19th century. The castle also had central heating, a central vacuum system, and even retractable glass ceiling above the main hall that could be opened during the summer. So while the building looks very traditional and historic, technologically it was extremely modern. King Carol I was known for being very disciplined and organized, and he took a personal interest in the design of the castle. He wanted it to reflect Romania's growing identity as a modern European kingdom. So the castle was not only a residence, but also a place where important political meetings and royal receptions were held. Another thing that makes the castle so unique is its collection of art and historical objects. The royal family collected thousands of pieces, including paintings, sculptures, armor, and decorative objects. In fact, the castle holds one of the largest collections of European armor and weapons in Eastern Europe. Walking through here really gives you a sense of how European royalty lived during that time. It feels luxurious but also surprisingly intimate. Compared to some enormous royal palaces in Europe, this place feels more like a very elaborate home. After the monarchy was abolished in Romania in 1947, the castle eventually became a museum, which means today visitors can walk through these same rooms and experience what royal life might have been like over 100 years ago. After seeing all these interiors, the moment you step back outside and see the castle from the front, it is just as impressive. With the towers, the detailed facade, and the forested mountains behind it, it really does look like something straight out of a fairy tale. So we are now walking back down the hill to the hotel. We've been to Peleș Castle. It was very beautiful. Honestly, it's huge and there's so much to see. If you're with a tour group, I think they cut it a bit short, we noticed, so they don't actually watch or look at and explore the whole castle. So keep that in mind if you go to a tour group. I think it's because they have very little time, so they travel from maybe Bucharest, come to Peleș Castle, then I think probably they go to Bran Castle or something, or Brașov, and so they want to keep it quite like efficient. But there's so much to see. It's very beautiful. I think it's, if you can, to come alone, it might be better, although of course then with the tour guide they'll explain some things, which is cool. But yeah, it was nice. It technically had a QR code, but it didn't work for like giving you an audio guide. But on like in each room there was a placard explaining, also in English, German, French, Romanian obviously, about the space and the architecture, the architectural style, etc., which was nice. But yeah, stunning, absolutely beautifully preserved, very lavish furnishings. It was a very, very warm, cozy, but also very like sophisticated vibe. I think Matteo actually said he believes it's the best he's ever been to, and I have to agree. And now we're making our journey down, and we will go to the hotel, maybe grab a coffee or a snack or something, and then go for a lovely not gondola, what is it called, the cable car ride. Sorry, it's very sunny, which I'm not complaining about, but it is a bit blinding today. Yeah, so that is so far how it's been, but it's been very lovely. There was a huge queue to get in the castle, and because there's snow everywhere, it's quite icy outside, so we have to be quite careful. So the queue took a bit of time, even if I think pretty much everyone in the queue had pre-bought their tickets. I don't know what happens if you haven't. I think, oh yeah, there was like a kiosk outside where you could buy it. But yeah, that was a bit chaotic, but once you're in, it's lovely. They kind of let you in waves. But yeah, and it's so nice and warm in the castle, so huge, but they keep it very well heated. Everywhere here, I have to say, is always very well heated indoors. But yeah, now we shall continue our lovely walk, burning those calories, getting a bit of exercise in, and then on to the next little stop. After a quick rest in the hotel, we made our way back up the mountain to the cable car. So we're back at our accommodation. You may hear the kettle in the background. And we've had a very lovely walk and explore of the mountains. You would have seen that the ski slopes are so busy. So they are really big. Loads of people, but it's so big that it doesn't really matter. And it's a really nice, calm vibe. I think it always is like that in the mountains. It's very beautiful. And really good slopes, according to my husband. I don't really know, but it looks really nice. And he says that they're good for me because I'm a beginner for sure. But there was also some like very serious slopes, and there was like some which were, I guess, designated ski areas, and some where you could just go, but they were not like necessarily part of the runs, I think. But people were definitely there. They were just all over the mountain. And but we were obviously not skiing, we were just exploring. So we were very lucky. When we arrived to take the gondola, we were right by the counter, the ticket counter, and this lady stopped us and said, "Hey, you guys, do you need tickets to go up on the gondola?" And we're like, "Oh yeah." She's like, "Well, you don't anymore because we have a bunch which we're not using anymore, so you can have ours for the remainder of because it's like you buy like 6 points or whatever, takes you on one ride." So she had like 18 per card, and she had like 3 or 4 of them. So she just gave it to us and this guy as well. So we had 4, and which was very nice of her. So we managed to go actually for free, because otherwise it would have been, we took 2 gondolas, so we went right to the top, and if it was 6 each, so I think that would cost 100 lei, which is about 20 euros. So yeah, that was really nice of her, and a lucky score. So yeah, that was a very nice experience. It was very cool to be on the gondola. We managed to be a few times alone, which was nice, and then you share it with the skiers as well. But yeah, we walked around, and then we stopped in like at the top where I guess they also have après ski, grabbed a very reasonable little light lunch, and which was very tasty, I have to say. It was very good food. I wouldn't say healthy, but very tasty. We had like what they call chorba, which is soup, and then like some schnitzel with potato and cheese kind of thing, which initially I thought was polenta, but then he explained it was potato and cheese, and it was very tasty, very flavoursome. And then we came back down. It was very relaxing, took loads of videos. And now we're back in the hotel. As you can see, we're going to chill. It's about 4 p.m. now. So we've walked quite a lot, because obviously then from the gondola we walked back to our hotel, where we saw like a little doggo. There are a lot of dogs just running around, I think. And we saw the dog had a collar, and then we saw a guy, because there's quite a few houses going up the mountain. We said, "Oh, is this your dog?" And he said, "No, it's probably abandoned." We were really surprised, like abandoned dog. So then we checked the collar, and it had an air tag on it. And the dog was floating around, so we understood that the dog must belong to that neighborhood, and he's probably just got out of his gate. and he was so sweet. He was cuddling up to me and stuff. So we tried to just get him off the road because there were cars hooting at him because he kept just chilling on the road because it was in the sunlight, and it was making us very concerned. So we were pulling him off to the side. But because he had an air tag but no information, obviously we couldn't move him because then if that's his neighborhood. But yeah, it was weird. And there was a bunch of other dogs but without collars and things that are just running around here, which is crazy. But they're in very good condition, so they're all well fed and they look fine. But I feel like, I don't know, maybe it's a bit common to have just dogs running around because we heard dogs barking at night, but we don't know they were in their homes or where. But anyway, sorry, just rested my arm. But yeah, so now after this we're going to go into the city center, explore it a bit in Sinaia, and then have a nice dinner and enjoy our final night on our little short weekend getaway. After much deliberation, we finally booked our summer holiday. Back in the hotel, we had a lovely Serbian dinner tonight, which was very tasty. We kept it quite simple. We had like a Caesar salad. Matteo had called a creamy chicken soup, which I don't think it actually had actual cream in it. I think maybe it had some like potato or something to make it creamy. And then I had we shared everything. We just chose different things, and I chose a dish which was like sour cream, spinach, and lamb, kind of baked. And that was also very nice. So it was nice to have something Serbian. I've never eaten Serbian food before. It's got like some similarities, obviously, to dishes all around this sort of part of Europe. So it was not too far away from Romanian food. Hopefully we'll go to Serbia soon and find out all the local things. But yeah, that was very tasty. And then we took a quick taxi to the grocery shop. So because we were kind of up the mountain, there was nothing close by, which is why we took a taxi, because it was a bit of a long walk and we didn't want to lose our parking spot. So we took it to Mega Image, which is like the local grocery shop that you'll find mostly around Romania. And we got some dark chocolate, a little bit of something sweet, just because it's our birthdays, mostly because I wanted it. And we're going to have a tea, go to sleep, and then tomorrow is our final day around here. We might explore a new village tomorrow, we'll see, and make our way back to Bucharest. Oh yeah, so did I mention it's in this weekend getaway sort of to celebrate both our birthdays, because they're very close together. Mine was last week and Mateo's is coming up this week. So hello and good morning from Sinaia. We are just driving out of this beautiful town. We had breakfast this morning, the same as yesterday, and then we just got ready at a leisurely pace. It's about 11 a.m. right now, and Matteo is just having a laugh at me. And now we're going to do a slow drive back relatively. We're trying to avoid traffic back to Bucharest. And on the way we might stop at like a little castle, maybe a cute village. We're going to see. And yeah, it's been a lovely weekend. It's been perfect. Just the right mix of a little bit of like interesting activities as well as just a lot of relaxing. The perfect weekend getaway. And yeah, I could say that we would definitely recommend Sinaia. We are actually definitely planning to come back in the summer, maybe for some hikes. I think it's really worth to come for skiing. Matteo says that the slopes would also be good for me as a beginner. They look scary to me, but to be fair, there are some slants which are not that steep, which is definitely what I'm looking for. And I think he can have a few challenging slopes as well, so it's a good mix. And it's really nice vibe, and it's really fun just going even up the mountains without being a skier. It's so relaxing, and it's a beautiful, cute village. There's so many options for accommodation here. Lots of restaurants with delicious, good local food, but also like other kinds of food if you prefer. Even like some shops and of course grocery shops. But yeah, generally it's very cute, and it's such a beautiful surrounding with the mountains. It's so cool that the snow is still here. As you can see, it's in the day it's not too bad, but it's still cold. Now today's the 1st of March, so as you can see, I got this fleece for my birthday from my dear husband. It's from Levi's and it has got these cute little horses, and I've been wearing it all 3 days for my birthday weekend, obviously with different layers underneath, although I'm wearing essentially underneath the same shirt in various colors, which is also very comfortable, nice and long sleeve, flattering, and cotton. But yeah, so it's been a very chilled weekend, and I did wear boots as well. I arrived in like sneakers, but then I learned my lesson and I've been wearing boots. So yeah, I would say if you come at this time of the year, you do still need a winter jacket, winter clothing, some gloves, especially at night. At night the temperatures drop quite dramatically and goes into the minuses. But yeah, I think that's all I have to report right now. I am so happy with this little getaway. We feel, I think, recharged, good. It's not like we're tired and need to go and rest, right, husband? Yeah. But anyway, I'll catch you along the way on the road. So we've just arrived in a village called Campina, where behind me you'll see there's this cute little castle, which I believe is kind of considered like the castle of the dead or a ghost castle, because the man who designed it, I think his daughter died, and he believed that her spirit guided him to design this castle. So we're going to do a little visit and see what it's like. This was built in the late 1800s by Romanian writer and historian Bogdan Petriceicu Hasdeu after the tragic death of his daughter Iulia. Filming isn't allowed inside, which somehow makes the place feel even more mysterious. Legend says he designed the castle following the instructions he believed he received from her spirit during seances. The architecture is full of strange symbols, spiritual references, and mysterious details. Today, the building is a museum and one of the most fascinating and haunting places to visit in Romania. So we have just left this lovely castle that we visited. It was actually really worth a visit. It is very unusual, and we're going to take some countryside roads to get back to Bucharest to try and avoid the traffic. But about this castle, it is dedicated to the man's daughter who sadly passed away when she was very young, 18 years old, I believe. It's nice when you go there. How much was it to enter? 7 francs for 2 people. So I don't know, that's like £5. I don't know, $10 or something. So it's for 2 people, right? So half it for one, which is a very reasonable price. And it's now converted to a museum because the family couldn't afford the upkeep, so it had to be, I guess, renovated. There was also once an earthquake, but you get a free audio guide in English which explains the history. There's loads and loads of numbers to go through. We definitely didn't go through all of them, but it's very detailed. But what they tell you in this is that the daughter of this man who this building is dedicated to, she was quite a prodigy. So by the time she was 8, I think she already knew 5 languages. What was it that she achieved by 3? What do you remember? I don't know, there was something else. And then she, I think, had her bachelor's degree by 16, and then she was doing her doctorate, which I'm not sure if she'd completed before her death. In philosophy, I think, maybe yes. And I think her ambition was to be a playwright. But sadly, she got TB, and back in those days, it was I think the building was built in 1866 or something like that. So, almost 100, over 100 years ago. So, sorry, gone blank. But yeah, so it's a really beautiful but very tragic story. But what's amazing is just what a brilliant child she was, and the father really loved her and built this building to not only remember her but also as a way to connect with her, because I think they were quite spiritual back then. So the way it's built is you couldn't take photos inside, unfortunately. I'll try to look online to share, but inside there's like a central sort of space, and on the very top is an eye looking down, and then there's a sort of spiritual figure also looking down on you below the eye, and the eye is a window, and there's all kinds of like spiritual symbolism inside. And I think the father would try to connect spiritually to the daughter, and I believe he said that her spirit guided him to design this space, this building, and I think he has a memorial of her somewhere else as well. But yeah, it's a very yeah, there's like a graveyard or a tomb, Matteo says, in Bucharest. A tomb in a graveyard, yeah, obviously. And then, but I think it's a very pretty story. Also sad, of course, of a family love. But it was very nice to see, and it was very beautifully done, and it was very well renovated. So I'm glad we stopped. And now we continue and end this journey with a slow, lovely, I don't know why I'm saying slow, but like a chilled drive back home to Bucharest. But we've already hit some traffic. I mean, about 5 minutes outside of Sinaia. I don't know if it's because obviously it's a very popular place for skiers and things, and now everybody on a Sunday is going back home. But yeah, let's see if we manage to avoid it on the way. So guys, we're back home. We just stopped at Kaufland, which I think is my first time shopping there. And it's pretty much seems to be like a Lidl. It was very nice. It was quite a big one, so it was very convenient. So we just stopped along the way, still avoiding traffic. We were actually, except for next to Sinaia, we managed to avoid traffic mostly. And it's been such a lovely trip, and I just want to close off this lovely weekend over here. And I hope you join me in the future. And just by the way, because today's the 1st of March, today's actually quite a special day in Romanian culture, where because it's, I think, the celebration of spring, or the beginning of spring. So today people like exchange flowers with white and red ribbons and things like that, which is quite cute. So yeah, I think that's quite lovely. Just a little bit of something unique to the Romanian culture. But I'm going to leave you now and see you in the next video. So bye.